Hello everyone. Welcome to a new day, day 9 of our self-isolation lockdown here in India. I'm Gurmeet, and on my channel I am going to recommend books every day, and I hope this helps you stay at home, maybe read more, and makes the staying at home a little easier than what it is for most of us. And if you're not a reader, maybe you would like to spend that a little half an hour every day with probably my book recommendations, and have your kids read as well, and form a kind of a habit of reading, maybe like 20 minutes a day, half an hour a day to start with, and then increase it. And I hope all my book recommendations help you achieve that. So as I said, I'm going to recommend a book a day or something to do with literature every day in these 21 days. And what I'm going to recommend today is something that is a book uh, or literature that is really very, important for an Indian. We've heard it as children, we've seen it on TV as children, and it's back on TV right now for everyone to view, witness, and enjoy. Of course, I'm talking about none other than the Ramayana, and this is the literature that I'm going to recommend today. Uh, it's very essential for all the reasons that I've already said. Being an Indian, it's a part of our heritage, culture, mythology, whatever you want to call it, and whatever we feel it is a part of being an Indian for sure. And there are lots of episodes of Ramayana that are out there, and the book I'm going to recommend, so there are very many versions of Ramayana. There's a Tulsidas Ramayana, etc., but everybody says that Valmiki's Ramayana is the original Ramayana that's ever written. Now there's a lot of you know uh, people talking about maybe this is not, or there is some other Ramayana that is the truth, but this is what I think people say, and this is the Ramayana that this is the Penguin Classics, and Penguin has taken up this responsibility, and they've made this classics book, and they've gotten Ramayana translated from the original Sanskrit versions of the Valmiki's written, and the translator has been the amazing Arshia Satar, and she's translated the entire Sanskrit series. She's an amazing author as well as a translator. She's a student of University of Chicago, if I'm not wrong, and she's translated many of the works, and she's really good with this, and I loved reading this book. So I must admit I was a little depressed at the end of this book, although it should make me pretty happy. The entire book was making me quite happy, but the ending was quite depressing. But I'll leave it up to you guys to read and figure out what it is. I wouldn't like to talk about the story. I thought I would like to talk about the entire story for a little bit in my video, but the ending of the story kind of left me a little depressed. So I'm going to look through this. This is actually a copyright of 1996. And it was published in Penguin Books at 2000, so it's not like a new version that I'm telling you to buy, but this is definitely a great translation of the original Valmiki books. And again, it is Penguin Classics, and I'm so happy Penguin's done that. My video is not really it's slightly grainy, as I can notice, but I urge you to buy this book. So the cover is a fantastic cover. I think this cover is where Ram and Lakshman are sitting and listening to Hanuman, and it even explains that the cover is Hanuman showing Sita's ornament to Rama after he comes back from meeting. I'm sorry, I'm not sure when the video paused, but so I'll tell you one thing, and a little spoiler from this book is, how we all talk about Lakshman Rekha, and there's been a lot of memes going on that talks about lockdown is our Lakshman Rekha to make us stay at home, and quite funny memes. And when you break the Lakshman Rekha, bad things happen, and those kind of memes where Sita unfortunately broke the Lakshman Rekha, and look what happened. And all of us not breaking the Lakshman Rekha, that's our lockdown. So this book, actually I have a spoiler for you. So if if you don't want me to make that spoiler, maybe mute my video for a little bit, maybe 20 seconds or so. But the spoiler is Valmiki's Ramayana never speaks about Lakshman Rekha. The Lakshman never, did the Lakshman Rekha. There was never a magical Rekha that he did. Neither did he ever, or Ravan never sat there and tricked Sita into crossing the Lakshman Rekha. There was never a mention of that. So I found that quite interesting, that it was never. And I actually went ahead and researched on the net, and it said that probably Tulsidas's, if I'm not mistaken, his version had the Lakshman Rekha, and a lot of the versions of Ramayanas and the concept of how the women were treated depended upon at what time the authors, either Valmiki or the others, wrote it. So that was quite a spoiler for me. I mean, not a spoiler as in a spoiler of the book that I didn't know, but I read it, but a spoiler for you. So unmute me. If you can hear me. So that was one part. The things that, so I did speak about it saddened me, and I didn't want to speak. So let me show you. It's quite a large book. Before I speak about the story that saddened me, let me tell you, it's quite a large book, so it's going to take quite a while for you to finish this. It has got around 700 odd pages, 692 if you want to read all the glossary etc, but it's got 687 pages. So 687 pages in this book. And I also like how they've indexed the book. So the index is quite interesting. It doesn't, so every title, I would say, has different chapters in it. So there's one title that speaks about childhood of Rama, and it has got different chapters, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. in it. And then the next phase, probably, I think she is, the author or translator has divided it into different phases of Rama's life. So the next is Ayodhya, the next one is wilderness, and so on. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different phases of his life that it talks about. And the last one is an epilogue, but I think that is quite important, and actually that is the one that has quite depressed me. Had I stopped at the last one, which was the war and the ending of the war, it was quite a pleasant story, and I loved the way everything was said, and all the things that the gods and the goddesses did. But the epilogue was the one where Sita was cruelly abandoned, and then she was brought back to be tested again. And I'll tell you why the testing bothered me in the epilogue. Although, and another spoiler. So she was already tested in the chapter war as well, and she was tested again in the epilogue. The chapter war testing did not upset me, but the epilogue did. So if you are like me, I would tell you to read epilogue at your own risk of hurting your own feelings, probably. I wouldn't want to go more, because I think an interpretation of such a great mythology is for your own for your own perspective to enjoy. But I really urge you to read this book. We have the time now that we are in a lockdown to read such fat books, and mythology is such a current hot topic in India. Mythology books are really doing well, especially Indian mythology, are doing so well in India that I think this is definitely a book you need to pick up and read to understand Ramayana better. And it's a part of our culture and heritage, even if you don't belong to the same religion. And I think the translator also is not a part of this religion, but yet I think we've grown up with that. We've heard stories, and such an amazing book to read. And I'll tell you one good thing. After the sadness also, my favorite character after reading this book, and if it is the authentic translation, is actually Lakshmana. And I never thought he would be. He was always, when I saw the series, when I heard the stories, he was always this, not an extra, but just, someone, a companion to Rama. But but instead of a companion, I read his thoughts. And if that, like I again say, the authentic translations from Sanskrit of Valmiki's, he's such a noble man that it's amazed me that more of Lakshmana was not shown in the TV series or spoken about in books in our culture and heritage. He was like a true devotee, and beyond just a devotee, a very noble man, and really someone to look up to. So my favorite character by the end of this book has been Lakshmana, and Hanuman of course has been like a child favorite. And of course there's so many series, even little cartoons of Hanuman, and it's so worth it. I think kids all over India, be it of any religion, I think should have a little bit of a Ramayana in their lives. And I urge you to read it, even though it's a fat book. Please don't think it's a fat book and you don't want to read this book. And thank you, Penguin Classics, for taking up this whenever you did, even if it was in 2000. Thank you for taking up this and getting this translated, because I think I own quite a nice bit of literature in English that I understand, and not Sanskrit. I wouldn't have understood it so well there. But thank you so much for getting this out there in the market for us all to own and read. My book recommendation for day 9. Let me know, what do you think? Bye bye.